What's up everyone, this is Gustavo Dantas. Welcome to vlog number 9. Today I'd like to share the content of an article that I wrote for Jiu-Jitsu Mag back in January 2016 called To Compete or Not to Compete. And I decided to share this content in a video format and I hope you guys enjoy. And as you already know, I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. This is only my perception about a topic. I'm pretty sure you have yours. It doesn't mean that mine is right or wrong. So whatever you feel is applicable to you, use it, and whatever you don't, just put to the side. So if you are interested in growing, evolving, not only as an athlete, but as a human being, this video is for you. To compete or not to compete? That is the question. Very often beginners ask me, Gustavo, what are the benefits of competing? If you have competed before, you know how more focused and disciplined you get with your training, with your routine, with your diet, your sleep. Some people like to study Jiu-Jitsu a little more, watching videos. It will help to refine your game and tie things up. And of course, after the tournament, man, you always grow. So it will improve your Jiu-Jitsu game. Some people still say, that's it, Gustavo, that's all I get? Improve my Jiu-Jitsu game, what else? And I understand that people have different perceptions about competition. Some people feel that, man, that I don't see the point of competing. It doesn't prove anything to anyone. It's too expensive and it's not for me. And I understand that. But one thing that people don't talk much about it's a benefit that Jiu-Jitsu tournaments can bring to you. And with the proper guidance, I truly believe that competitions can be an amazing personal development tool, because as I mentioned, if you competed before, you know that you can get to learn a lot about yourself when you're in under pressure situations. You had a goal. You have a goal and you've been practicing and you've been preparing for this opportunity to achieve your goal, and then you get there, you have to perform in front of people, and this can really mess with your head. So very often, things that might be holding you back in competition might be holding you back in your personal and professional life. I'm not saying always, but it did happen with me. For people who don't know much about my background, the beginning of my career, I struggled a lot with competition, performance, and anxiety. And for not having, I had no confidence from losing a lot in the beginning to building my confidence to peak and then start crashing when I moved to the US in 1999. Not having the same world-class training partners I had in Brazil, in different phase, different priorities, I start to question myself, can I still hang with the high-level guys without having my world-class training partners? And that started to really mess with my head. So from 99 to 2003, I did a few Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, submission wrestling, MMA, but I felt that my confidence was not what it used to be. And of course, I can tell right now with a different level of self-awareness, but I didn't know back then. I just felt that something was holding me back. Have you felt like this before? And finally, in 2007, around 06, 07, I started to build better competitors, and I started to notice, man, I do have good training partners here. I need to get back to competing. And maybe you have competed before, and then you thought about, maybe took a long break and you're trying to get back into the game. And you think about, man, I want to compete, and then the anxiety comes in, and then your dark passenger start bombing you, saying, are you good enough? Can you still hang with those guys? Man, you don't want to disappoint anybody. And what if you don't win? How others might perceive if you don't meet their expectations? All that kind of junk started to really mess with my head, but I finally decided, I'm like, man, I'm sick of this. I'm going to embrace this fear of failure and do it anyway. Got back to competing. Even though some of the results start to show up, I felt that my confidence wasn't there. And I was bringing some anxiety to it. And I started to really not be satisfied with my performances, even though have you been in a situation that maybe you won a match, you went home and like, okay, good. But you start to really dwell on some of the negative things that you did, the not so good things. And it's basically what I was doing. And then finally, 2010, I had my aha moment. Maybe guys in the lighter divisions can relate with this, what I'm going to say right now, but have you ever been in a tournament that you want to compete in your division and you felt kind of pressured and end up not performing the way you wanted, got a little anxiety kicked in, and regardless if you won or you lost, but just the way you felt, and then you went to compete in the open class and it just felt loose and felt great. And happy with your performance. That's exactly what happened with me in 2010. Competed in my division, I didn't like how I was feeling, and I don't compete that often in an open class, and then I signed up for the open, and I felt great, loose. And I wonder, man, how come I can perform well in one division and not the other? That doesn't make any sense. I need to get to the bottom of this. So I went home, Google, mental preparation. That led me to mental skills training, and then eventually personal development. And I had no idea how much my negative patterns, my negative thoughts, my fear of failure, my fear of disappointing others, the fear of how others perceive me if I don't meet their expectation, my perfectionism, so many negative patterns were holding me back. And I found out through the jiu-jitsu competition, learning about myself in under pressure situations. And as I started to study and understand more, I started to become more self-aware. And I started to self-regulate my thoughts, my feelings, my behavior. So I started to perform better and more efficient way and responding in a more rational, efficient way and under pressure situations like the tournament. So the question, to compete or not to compete, what should I do? If you have never competed before, I always recommend jiu-jitsu practitioners to try at least once, one tournament, so you can go through the process of getting ready, feeling that emotion, feeling that anxiety, that expectation that comes with it. That's a practice of performing in under pressure situations. Now, if you have competed before, but you've been like, I want to get back to competing, but again, something's pulling you back. Maybe a dark passage is telling you like, wait, you're too busy, man. Are you good enough? Do you think they still can hang with these guys? What about if you lose? You don't disappoint your friends, your family, your kids might be there. And if you don't, what about if you lose? You know, how others might perceive you. They might look down on you. All that crap that might be bugging you the same way it did for me. Start to reevaluate that. And if competing is something that you want, just embrace that fear of failure and just do it anyway. There's a book called The Top 5 Regrets of Dying of this nurse called Bronnie Ware. She used to work with terminal patients that had up to 3 months to live, and she started to collect the regrets that people had before dying. And the number one regret was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Now let me ask you this. Are you living a life true to yourself? And I'm not even talking about just jiu-jitsu. That's personal and professional life as well. Are you letting the opinion of others really hold you back from going after things that you want to pursue? The fear of disappointing others? You should really reevaluate that, because life is short. And when you get older, at one point you're gonna say, man, I wish I had competed. I wish I had tried. Or, man, I wish I had competed more. I did have fun, but the fear of failure really held me back. So if others, the feeling that you're gonna disappoint others or how others might perceive you holding you back, man, just keep one thing in mind. When you die in your service, do you think that your friend's gonna be talking about, man, remember that tournament that he lost? Man, he got ran over. Oh yeah, dude, that was pathetic. When you're gone, you're gone. So might as well take advantage to grow from this experience. So embrace that fear, failure, feel that anxiety, embrace it, and do it anyway. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content. If you like more information about the movement, check out the bjjmentalcoach.com. You can also check us on Facebook, facebook.com/thebjjmentalcoach, and on Instagram, Gustavo Dantas BJJ. And I see y'all soon. Us.